Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my first ever pan project. So I figured by the time I wanted to do one last year, it was way too late to try and do anything. So I figured since it is only the 3rd of January, that I would sit down and film what I'm planning on working on this year. So if you're interested in what I got to pan, then just keep watching. So I want to try to do 19, because it's 2019. But realistically, I only see me, probably hitting pan on some of these, which I've actually already hit pan. And I'll kind of explain with those products when I talk about them. So in no particular order, I'm kind of just going to grab what is in front of me. I will say that I want to give a shout out to Phoebe HB here on YouTube. If I can figure out how to link her video or her channel, I will try to in the description box. My editing and trying to figure out YouTube isn't on point yet. I don't even know how to pin a comment, or pin a thing in the eye or whatever it's called. So I'm going to figure out how I can do that. So definitely look down in the description box for her channel. But she gave me some inspiration on how to go about doing my project pan. So I got everything written down in this notebook. I have dashes for how many times I've used it, and on the back I have my two eyeliners and then my lip product. So that's how I'm going to kind of be able to update you guys. I'm hopefully going to, do this, maybe around every 3 months. If I make fast progress, I'll probably be a little bit sooner. But I'm looking at maybe a 3-month, check-in just to kind of see where I'm at. So this will kind of help me know, how far I've gotten into a product or how many uses I've gotten to get that far into a product. So that way I'm not trying to remember off the top of my head. I will say some of these I'm not trying to use up completely. Some of them I've had for a while and I just want to finish up. Some of them I had for a while and I just want to get some kind of use out of them. Some of these things I've started with before I was with YouTube and I used all the time, and now I just don't reach for them and I'm trying to remember why. So in the long run, some of this stuff might end up just being decluttered, but for the most part, I just really want to use this to get back into using some of the products that I used to use before. Okay, so let's start with foundation. I used to use this all the time. I marked off here where we're starting, and so that way we can kind of get an idea of how far down I've gotten. But I really do like this foundation. For some reason I just stopped using it. It's a naturally flawless one, which I agree, it does give you a natural finish. It's not really dewy, but it's not super matte. It is not full coverage. It's probably light medium, a little bit biddable, because I do have freckles here that come through after I use this. But so far I've used it twice since the beginning of the year. And then I also have these NYX Total Control Drops. I was using this as a mixer to lighten up foundations, but I found that this isn't really the best mixer for foundation. So this one I found actually oxidizes a little bit, so it's actually a little bit too dark, and their shade range is not very good. So I've kind of just been mixing these two, and it's kind of been working. It's what I'm wearing now. So I've just marked these two. My plan is to hopefully get it a little bit further down. I don't think I'll ever finish this. I mean, I might. This I don't see finishing. There's just so much in here, and it is super liquidy. I mean, like water. So if anything, I just really want to try to get some of these down here. I do have quite a bit of foundations, but I am planning on doing a declutter of those. Next up, I have my Benefit Brow Zing, and I've had this for a good little while now. I've used it twice since starting this project. I used to use this all the time, and then I just stopped because I felt like it was kind of giving me that like harsh, like thick, bold brow, and I wasn't really, you know, that good at doing my eyebrows. Not that I'm like an expert now, but I'm a little bit better, and I actually find that I like how this makes my eyebrows look compared to like a pencil, although I will like sometimes use a pencil to like fill in like sparse areas. So I have actually been reaching for this a lot more, but I want to continue to reach for it because I find that I can switch back and forth. And where I've had this so much longer than like my eyebrow pencils, I need to definitely get some use out of this. I do have like a little bit of an indentation in the wax part. However, in the powder part, there's a little tiny dip, but not as much as like the wax. So hopefully I'll be able to get a nice little indent in there. I don't see myself hitting pan, just because you really don't need a lot of product when you're using this. I find that if you put too much, you know, it'll blend itself out, but I find that a little goes a long way with this. But if I can at least get a nice like visible dent, then I will be satisfied. Next up is this Hourglass Ambient Diffused Bronzer in the shade Light. It's just like one of those like little mini, like, well, I guess not mini, well, yeah, like a mini sample of their bronzer. I actually paid like $18 for this, and I thought it was going to be bigger than what it was. So I'm just trying to use it up. It is kind of like one of those like domed, like baked type products. It is, you know, on the shimmery side, so if you're not like into that, then you won't like this. I was reaching for it, and then I stopped reaching for it. I picked up a Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer, and I hadn't been able to stop using that. So I just want to break away from that and focus on this. It's what I'm using today. I find that it does pull kind of orangey on me. Sometimes it just depends. Like right now, I think it looks pretty good. But it's an alright product. I wouldn't go out and purchase the full size. I definitely wouldn't repurchase this size either. But since I paid so much for such a small size, I want to try to use up as much as I can. You know, if I can at least get a nice like dip in it, maybe even see pan, then I will be happy with even just that. Oh, I forgot to mention, once I like either finish up a project or hit pan or get it to where I'm like satisfied, I will maybe hopefully be able to like roll out that and roll in something. I just think that that's a good way for me to use what's in my collection, and I think it's a good way for anybody really to use, you know, items in their collection. But up next I have this Model's Own Sculpt and Glow, and I actually picked this up because I heard Tarte talking about how it's like a dupe for that Chanel like bronzer, and it's a cream to like powder formula, and I actually like the tone of this. It's not too orangey, but it's not too dark. It's definitely not something you can use to contour with. When I bought it, I used a crap ton of it. I don't know if you can see, but I got like a little dip going on in the middle. And then for some reason I just stopped grabbing it. I think, you know, because it's a cream, and I find that that's just, you know, an extra step that I don't necessarily need in my routine. But I remember really liking this, and I want to try to use up more, just because it's cream, and sometimes cream can get a little nasty and like stuff in it. So I just want to try to at least get a big dip, you know, in it, and use as much as I can. So that's where I am with this product. up next is setting spray. So I have this Kat Von D Lock-It setting spray. I've had this for the longest time, and I can't see through the bottle, obviously. So I had this empty MAC bottle, so I just like dumped this into this so I can see like the progress I'm making. And there's still like some in here, so when this, you know, goes down, I will pour more in there, and then we can kind of get an idea of like how much is actually in this bottle. And so once it starts visibly going down, I will mark it. It's an okay setting spray. I don't remember it like being super lasting on the skin, but it's no means a bad one. I've just kind of found other ones that I like more. I like the MAC one more. I like the Urban Decay All Nighter more, and I like even the Makeup Forever setting spray. Alright, so I have 3 different like eyeliner type products. So the first one I have is the Sephora Crown Eyeliner in what is this, black or something, black lace. I actually really like this eye pencil. It's one of those ones you have to sharpen, obviously. But it is real nice and black. I like to really use this to tightline, but I have it, you know, drawn out here so we can kind of just see the progress I've made. So I don't want to, I'm not too concerned about using it all up. I'm more or less just really want to try to get some more use out of it. And the next I have this Colourpop one in Mr. Bing, which is one like Kathleen Light's collabed with. And so that's how much I've used. I've only used this once today, and I marked it down on the sheet here. It's an alright eyeliner. It's not like the best I've ever used. It definitely does not stay on my waterline long at all. If you can see that there's like barely any on here, and there's still some on here. But I do have really watery eyelids, really watery eyes. And so if you have you know, the same as me, then this one isn't, I think this is the only Colourpop eyeliner I've tried to. So if they're all kind of like the same formula, then I probably won't repurchase their eyeliners. And then lastly, for eyeliners, I have this pretty Vulgar gel eyeliner. I got this in a BoxyCharm a couple months ago. When I first got it, I loved it. And I used it all the time. I don't know if you'll be able to see in there. There's some like nice dip marks in there. It's not a bad eyeliner. I find that it doesn't really transfer on me. I do have hooded eyelids, so when I do use it, it doesn't smudge. When I wing it out, I don't have a problem with it. I think overall it's a nice eyeliner. However, it's just so, the packaging is just so bulky on this that I hate storing it. And so I just want to try to get as much use out of this as I can, because I do remember really liking it. I have this Q-tip that I stuck down in there, and right on the tip, so I can keep progress on how much I'm using there. I've used it twice so far since I've started this project. Alright, next up I have 2 blushes here. This one is a single pan from Makeup Forever. This was actually my first high-end blush purchase. And I mean, I really do like it. It's a nice like pinky color. It's not something I would wear like every single day. Honestly, don't know why I bought this shade over every other shade. But I do like the formula. It's a really nice formula. It blends just fine. I have no problem with it. I've just had it for so long, and it doesn't even look like I've really used it. I did dig my nail in there, but it doesn't even look like I've really used it. So I want to try to use this in a, use this enough to where I can see some kind of progress. And then I have this Tarte one, which I've both only used once since starting this project. I have used this a ton, and it doesn't even look like the pattern is fading. I absolutely love this. It's a nice like cool tone pink. So there's like the difference, if you can see. I swatched over that. But this one's more cool toned and this one's not, pretty much, I guess. So if I can at least make some kind of progress in this one, I will be happy as well. I mean, I can tell that I've made progress in it because of the way I've messed up the pattern. But I would just like to see some more progress in me using this. Alright, next up, I have this Hard Candy Coconut Primer Stick. And when I started really getting into makeup, I went and picked this up. I swear I think I heard a YouTuber talk about this. Cannot for the life of me remember who, because I've had it that long. Still smells nice. Still smells like coconut. It's not like super hydrating. I don't find that it really makes much of a difference on my skin, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it's nice and it's refreshing, but that's pretty much it. So that's how much I have left. I want to use this up and just get it out of my collection because I've had it for so long. But I find that if I can't make much more progress, you know, within the next couple months, then I probably will just go ahead and declutter it because, again, I've had it for so long. And I've only used this once since I've started this project. Okay. Now, I have this Tarte highlighter in a Stunner. One of my very first high-end highlighter purchases. When I first got this and brought it home, I realized that it was shattered, and I wasn't sure, sure on how Sephora did their return policy, so I kept it and I've repressed it. And after 2 uses since starting, you can see that there is some pen right there. I did repress it. I find that it's a lot more crumbly now that I've repressed it than it was before. At least the parts that I could get to that wasn't shattered. Like, it was mostly this half that was completely shattered, and then this side was fine. But I find that since I've repressed it, it is super powdery. So that allows me to hit pan a lot faster. So I want to gear toward more this side than this side and really try to build up that pan. So if I can hit pan a little bit further out, more on this side, then I'll be happy to roll this one out. Just because I don't want to use it completely up, just because, like I said, this is my first high-end purchase and I really do enjoy it. I find that it is sort of darker than I should probably be wearing. And I know I had help I know a person helped me pick this out, so why they thought this was okay on my skin tone, I don't know. But I think it's just such a pretty color anyways that I go ahead and wear it, which I'm wearing it today. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the progress there. Alright, so for mascara, I have this Clinique High Impact Mascara. I actually have 2. So I'm thinking one might have been like a perk and one might have been for like my birthday or something. But this one I've used more than this one, and the only reason why I can differentiate them is because the caps are different. So I think I'm going to give one to my mom because I don't mind sharing mascaras with her, and use this one to try to use up. This isn't really like my favorite mascara that I have in my collection. It does give me volume, but as far as separation, it's not very good at that. They kind of clump together, and that's just not really something I like. I like more of like a thickening and volume mascara. I don't think it's bad if you're just into volume, but like I said, it's just not one of those mascaras in my collection that I wouldn't mind just kind of working on. So if I can get some decent uses out of this and hopefully maybe even use it up, then I will be happy with that. Alright, next up I have this PUR Plumping Lip Exfoliator, which I got in a BoxyCharm. It's alright. I mean, it's nothing to like write home about. I don't think it really helps exfoliate my lips. I have super dry, chapped lips, and if I'm going to wear a liquid lipstick like I am now, I need something that's really grainy that will really help exfoliate. I do use it every now and then I forget it's in my collection. So I pulled this out and I just want to use it and just get it out of my collection so I can put in something that is going to work a little bit better than what this is working. And I've only used it once so far since starting this project, and that is it right there. So it probably will take me a little bit to go through this just because you don't need a whole lot. Well, I guess a normal person wouldn't need a whole lot. I need a whole lot because I need a lot of help with my lips. So hopefully I can use this up and just declutter it out of my collection. Next up, I have two pressed powders. I have the Stargazer pressed powder in white. I heard that Taylor here on YouTube talk about this like long time ago about how this is a good under eye brightening powder. I believe that's what she used it for. And I think I got this off Amazon. And it's alright. I mean, it does, brighten. That's what I've used today under my eyes. I find that I like loose powder under my eyes more than compact powders. So I just haven't reached for this, and I mean, I want to get my money's worth. It's not a bad product, but it's just not something I prefer under my eyes. However, I will say that it broke out. The glue kind of stopped getting sticky on it, so I might have to put this into a little Z palette. But that's kind of, the only downfall about this is it's broken, and it came that way. And then I have this e.l.f. finishing powder, which if you've watched my videos for a while now, you know I like this powder. It's not my favorite. My favorite, hands down, is the Charlotte Tilbury one, which I've made like a huge pan size in that one. And this is my second time using it since this project, and I've already hit pan. Before it was just this out here, and out here you can see the indentations, but I finally see actual pan now. But I'm going to continue to use it, and hopefully I can make more progress in the pan, if not completely use it up, because like I said, I like my Charlotte Tilbury one better. And then next up, I have two concealers. So I have my Tarte Shape Tape, which is down to here. Starting this project, I've only used it once since beginning this project. Of course, I use it a lot. I'm sure you've seen it in some of my videos or down in the description box. I took the stopper out, so I'm able to get to more of the product down at the bottom. And I grabbed this one because this one is actually a little bit too dark. So I like to use this under my foundation. Whereas this one I like to use on top. And this is the Milk Makeup Concealer. I like it. I have no problem with the formula or the coverage. I just find that this is the lightest shade. At least it was when I purchased it. And it's fair. And it's still too dark. And I've made a line so we can see the progress. I really just want to use this up and get rid of it. I mean, it leaks so bad. I haven't even removed the stopper out of this. The stopper is still in there, but however, the stopper doesn't, there it is right there. It doesn't stay in this product, and it just is super freaking messy, and the packaging's lame. It sucks. It's awful. It's just messy, and again, it's just too dark. So I just really want to try to use it up. If I can't use it up completely, but I at least make a decent, progress down into there, then I'll just go ahead and declutter it. But I don't want to waste my money since I've already purchased it. Alright, so next up I have my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Again, if you've watched my videos, you know I love to use this to prime my eyelids. I've used quite a bit in there, if you can see. I don't think this is a bad product at all. I've had it for a little while. It's taken me a long time to get that far down in the pan. I've only used it twice since starting this project, but obviously I use it every time I do my makeup. If I want to use this all up, if not, you know, hit pan in a decent amount of the inside. I find that soft ochres is a little bit too dark for me. If I can find something a little bit lighter in the paint pot, which I think they make like a whole different like range of shades, but I just want something a little bit darker and closer to my skin tone, because I find that if I take it too far up toward here, and I don't get an eyeshadow up that high, then you can kind of see the discoloration of the color of this paint pot compared to my skin. So that's the only complaint I got about this. Alright, we're almost done, you guys. If you've held in this long, I appreciate it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. But the last three are eyeshadow type products. So I'm just, if I can talk, I'm going to start out with this L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow, like single eyeshadow. I've had this for a while. I actually have 4 in total, but I just wanted to kind of work on them one at a time. It's a really nice, like light champagne-y, like gold. Super pretty. I love to use this either all over the eyes or in the inner corner or on the brow bone. I just find myself not reaching for single individual shadows as much as I want to, or as much as I should, because like I said, I have 4 in my collection and I just don't reach for them at all. So I figured combining this with the other 2 products I have will make a good like eyeshadow combo, and hopefully be able to use some of this up. I'm not looking forward to using the whole thing up because I feel like that's probably unrealistic, but if I can make just a nice like dent, if not pan, in this product, then I will be super happy with that. But I've only used it twice so far since starting this project. Why I keep saying product, I don't know. And I mean, there's a slight something in there, but nothing like too major. And then next up I have this Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Crimper, and I've had this for a really long time now. I'm surprised it hasn't dried up, but I want to go ahead and use it up before it does dry up. I mean, I've used a crap ton. Like that little tiny thing right there is the pan. I actually did hit a little bit of it using this. I've only used it once, I believe. Yeah, I've only used it once since starting this project, but I've used to use it all the time when I did purchase it. So I kind of like squished it back together to cover the pan. So I don't think it'll take me too long to hit pan on this one. And then lastly, I have this Urban Decay Naked Palette. My husband got this for me for my birthday probably about a year ago, maybe close to a year ago. My little boy got into my makeup and he kind of dug his fingers in it, but I try to clean it up before putting it on here. But if you can see, you probably can't see because I'm not close enough. This shade, and these 2 shades are mainly the ones that I use. Sometimes this one and sometimes this one. I don't really use these as much, or this one. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and how I came up with this look will be on another video coming up. I don't think this is a bad palette. I know some people say it's boring or it's not, you know, as good as other eyeshadows on the market. I mean, I'm not going to disagree. You know, there are better formulas than this one. This one is pretty crumbly. But I find the pigmentation is just, it's just nice. It's a nice like gold and everyday, I will say almost every day. I will say that there's only 2 mattes, which is Buck here, which isn't like super dark, which is what I'm wearing, and then you have Naked, which is like a lighter brown. So those are your only 2 transition shades in this palette, which sucks because, you know, you can't really deepen up the outer corner all that much. And I find that this just makes your eye look pretty dark like this, unless you stick more towards these up here. This one's alright. It's still kind of muted as far as color. But like I said, pigmentation's no problem. I want to try to hit pan at least, you know, 2 or 3, maybe even 4. I know, you know, this one, and this one will be the 4 that I will most likely be close to, if not hit pan. But I just want to get back into using this a little bit more and show it a little bit more love. Alright, you guys, so that is all in my project pan for now. Hopefully I'll be able to use some of these up, pan them, declutter them, you know, whatsoever may happen in the next couple months. And if you guys like this kind of thing, let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below. Do you guys like watching project pan? This is kind of something I just gotten into, but I think it's a really good way to kind of circulate your makeup. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell while you're down there so you're notified every time I upload a video. And until next time, guys, see ya.